up, everybody? Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm here with my homeboy, Steven. We're here at the North American Bitcoin Conference.
Yes.
Is that what this is? Steven is a founding member or a participator of UltraCoin.
Management director, my current position is overseeing the management aspects of the coin, getting into conferences, working with businesses, getting us accepted on more platforms for payments, partnerships, things like that, working with the team.
Very cool. So yeah, UltraCoin is essentially a competing currency similar to Bitcoin in essence. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I wanted to talk today about your decision to drop out, which really I'd rather call it move on, or move on to bigger and better things. Steven, you dropped out of college, and this was how long ago?
This was about a year ago.
About a year ago. And why did you choose to drop out, and how has that journey been so far?
So far, I think wanting to drop out stemmed from a sort of distaste and disenfranchisement with schooling. I felt that it was moving me, but it wasn't moving me fast enough or in the direction I wanted to go to specifically. For instance, right now, I moved on to business. I have a family business. We own about 9 restaurants, and I've been working with that. And I feel like college, as far as what you're learning, the bulk of what you're learning, you're not going to apply trigonometry. You're not going to apply algebra or pre-cal to business.
No, you're not.
You don't learn how to talk to people and speak with companies and crunch numbers and all that. The business end of that, you don't learn that. Just being in school, you have to really apply it in the real world. So eventually, I was doing a lot of math in school, and since about my 2nd or 3rd grade, I've always had a math disability, right? So, I could do the math, I could do the equations, but we just moved on too quickly in courses, and so I've always had a little bit struggling in mathematics. And by the time I got to college, I did 2 semesters. I had to retake algebra twice, and it's something I just dreaded doing. I really tried hard. I was in the math lab 5 hours a week, doing all the homework, doing everything, but it's like my brain just threw it away. I've always been an information hoarder. I can learn volumes of information that I'm interested in, economics, business, all these different things, politics, other things I've been interested in, I pursued, but some things I just couldn't really get into. And along with the fact that I just was being disenfranchised with college, with the expenses, and with the returns on that investment, I felt like it just wasn't worth it to stay in school, to be spending that kind of money on education. I didn't feel like it was worth it. And I started just reading books on my own about business, reading books that I felt were empowering or things I was interested in, and applying those things to business myself in the real world. So that's why I decided to drop out.
How's the journey been? How's the journey been so far?
So far, I've enjoyed it. I feel like I'm in a lot better place, and I look around me at people that have gone to college for many years and have graduate degrees and where they're at today, and it usually has nothing to do with their degree. They're usually in a ton of debt. It's really a shame, and I see people that I know from high school that are still in college. A lot of them have dropped out and have done, actually, a lot of them that didn't even go to college are in a better position because they've stayed home, they've worked at their managers and their jobs, they have no debt, and they have infinite potential to grow instead of going to school for 4 years and graduating with $40,000 of debt and then working as a minimum wage job and paying that off over 10 or 20 years when your job disappears or it's not there like it was promised.
So in this time period since you've dropped out, I know that one of the main things you've been pursuing is UltraCoin. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and how did you get into it initially?
Sure. So UltraCoin, I got into UltraCoin, kind of stemmed off my interest in cryptocurrencies, politics, economics. I got into Bitcoin January of last year, and I started with, I built my mining rig from scratch. I have a friend who got me into UltraCoin. I got to know him from a few connections that I had through journalism and things that I was pursuing outside of school, and eventually got into UltraCoin. I started developing in the community, doing certain things, and eventually I was made management director after a power shift we had behind the coin, and I've been running it ever since. Took us to Vegas, Hashes United, back in October, and now we're at the North American Bitcoin Conference, and we've been really trying to grow the coin as much as possible. And I feel like with UltraCoin and probably any other project you have, what you put into it is what you get out. So if you can pour your heart and soul into it, you're going to get that out of it. As soon as you become lazy, you're going to see things start to change for the worse. And it's as soon as you start to be lazy And it's crazy because I think in business, if you don't have your heart, soul, blood and sweat into something, it's not going to prosper. So it's definitely, you learn all these things as you progress in the real world. Not something you can really teach you in school, obviously, but it has a lot to do with your willpower and wanting to go out to do it.
See, that's kind of the sad part about the mainstream educational system is that people spend the first 12 years of their life not doing things that they're interested in, not putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, as you put it, into side projects or potential entrepreneurial pursuits that a person might want to do because they're too busy trying to get the good grades. And by the time you're 18 years old and you graduate from high school and your parents are urging you to get into college, it's kind of like, well, at this point, what am I going to do? Am I just going to drop everything and just start working in the garage on that thing I always had an ambition for? This is what the lemonade stand used to be about. This is what early childhood entrepreneurial pursuits used to be about. It was about experimentation. In the modern school industrial complex, the only experimentation you get is within the grading system and the school curriculum and all that bullshit. But it doesn't really have that much to do with empowerment. It doesn't really have much to do with, actualizing things that are specific to your interests. Instead, what you're doing is you're getting good grades and you're going through the system, all in the hopes not of working for yourself or actualizing your own kind of business, but to, for the most part, go work for somebody else. And that kind of ties into the whole reason why the school system is the way that it is. But to close it off, how do you feel right now going forward, and do you think that your decision to drop out, which I really just call it moving on, do you think it was a good choice? How do you think you're going to be able to go forward from here?
Sure. Well, obviously I had some opportunities set out for me when I joined the family business and decided to skip school and just go directly into that. However, I have a lot of friends that I pulled into that family business that have also decided to skip schooling, and I can tell you right now, the experience that we've gotten just being in the business itself, the experience we've grown, that's grown us as individuals and as better businessmen, et cetera, I think it's invaluable. You're getting paid for what you're doing instead of actually, going to school for 4 years and having to find a job and start from the bottom and all that. I think that connections are probably really undervalued right now, and I think that high schools push education, trying to get 18-year-olds to decide what they want to do within a year, when really they've been spending the last 12 years doing what everyone else has been telling them, and now there's suddenly being pushed to make a decision as to what they want to do for the rest of their life. And for me, self-education started out when I first started high school. I got into a lot of economics, politics, things like that really I absorbed well, and those are the things I really remember from high school that I took with me into my my recent years and into business and et cetera. So I definitely think it was worth it not to be in college, not to have that debt, to start building outside of that paradigm, and to see where that 1 year or 2 years, just take a break, see where it takes you, see how far it takes you, see how much you're going to grow just in the natural world, learning things naturally instead of through a book. You're going to learn things a lot faster. There's still information you can learn as long as it interests you. If it doesn't interest you, if you're learning it from a book, it's not interesting, it's not going to be worth your while. It's a waste of time. If you're learning something from a book, at least make sure it interests you. Make sure everything you do helps you with your goals. If not, cut it off. And I don't regret dropping out. I'm not afraid to say it. And it's going to be interesting to see whatever happens to everyone else that graduates college in 2 or 3 years, and where they're going to end up, what they're going to be doing, and if they're going to regret it or not. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just to wrap it up real quick, it's about thinking outside the classroom. The sad thing is that people never really experiment, they never really try new things, and they never really know what might have been possible. So right now, if you'd like to just plug UltraCoin, maybe you got a website or anything like that, let people know about it.
Check out ultracoin.net and check us out, download the wallet, and spreads the cryptocurrency around.
It's cryptocurrency, guys, Bitcoin, all that stuff, so it is cool. It's kind of like an alternative currency, competition to the Federal Reserve, evil, demonic, hellhole system that is. Guys, so I talk about essentially what we kind of just broke down right here, and a lot more. I got a new book coming out January 29th of this month. It's called Success Without School, Think Outside the Classroom. I won't get into too many details here, but if you'd like to get a brief breakdown of it, the link to the book info is in the description below. Again, Success Without School, Think Outside the Classroom. And I guess Stephen is one bright and shining example of the world outside the school system. Guys, thanks a lot. Take care.
Success Without School, Think Outside the Classroom. My new book shatters the matrix of the school system, exposing the brainwashing done to you and illuminating the path to success. From the truth about intelligence to surviving in a fast-paced, unprecedented economic era, this book is my full crystallization, breaking the chains on your mind and opening you to what's possible when you think outside the classroom. Coming January 29th, 2015, available for pre-order now.